What's up, bro? I don't know how long this video can be, so I'm actually cleaning my four Kangos that I have right now. I have another fifth one that's already clean. They start to smell, I'd say, or sweat if you dance a lot after about a month, I don't know, 2 months. Not, you could kind of smell head sweat in a way. It depends on the season, depends on how much you sweat. Sometimes they can go for months, like 4 months without even washing it. But the way, since it's synthetic, you could wash it is you put it inside of a bucket. You know, I have a Tupperware container. I have four hats in here, and they're like synthetic materials, like poly. I don't know what. You know, they're not. They're mixed with cotton, but still hot water, a little bit of like Tide or whatever, and then what I would do. This is just me cleaning. It's just a cloth. I don't use a scrub brush. It's so hot, dude. Super hot. Ooh. Anyway, what I would do when it cools down, or I'd add some cold water. I happen to not have a small container. Usually I'll do it in my sink, but there's no stopper right now. Our ghetto ass 70s, 60s, 50s looking kitchen. Usually I would just wash them in the sink with the stoppers, flush it around, and I would take two of the hats and rub them together where the inside of the brim, where your forehead would be, and on wherever your fingers touch the brim. If there's starting to be dirt like all around here, or any fingerprints out here, I would, since these kind of have a rough texture, I rub them together as the sort of scrubbing tool. Okay, and then I also rub the inside, because that can get oils from your head or stain. This is actually a dirty old gray one. Dirty old gray man. These are tan, so, but on the inside you could tell it's slightly off color. They will maybe start to stain after like 5 years, but literally, like, they stay fresh. The tans are sometimes different tones. The tan ones, I like the tans because they're very generalized. You could use them in different seasons. Again, this is just a cleaning brush. This is my blood red one. I love this one. It's more for winter and everything. But as you can tell, it's like shiny. It's kind of like, it doesn't look that shiny, but it's wet right now. But it isn't synthetic. This did have gold, and it's starting to look a little off and old. So I'll probably buy a new one soon. Now, I've always been happy with all my Kangos, except this one came to me, and it had these teeny little pricklies. These very, like, subtle, sharp pricks. Like, that would be, I guess, the synthetic threads. So I stitched in this piece of cloth, and it was stitched at both corners, right? It's a flat square. And right now I'm one-handed because I'm holding the camera, but basically it would be on the inside to protect my head, my scalp, from the little pricklies. And I never felt that in all my 30 years of wearing Kangos, except this one. So I'm upset with whatever they're using or whatever they did with this, but there's these little burrs that were sort of itching my head. And it's a $40, $40-$50 piece. So every time you buy them, it's like $40-$50. So I was very upset with that. These, I never feel anything. They feel soft. I just don't know what happened with that. They singed it. They did something. They singed it. It does look pretty off yellowy. That's really, I think it's also the lighting in here. I don't know, but honestly, like, it's you don't see it from the outside, but that's weird how dark it is on the inside. Anyway, that's what I do. I wash them. I squeeze them out and never put them in the dryer. I take them and I, like, whip it, like, outside on a porch. I would, like, whip to get all the water out, and then I place them on top of a pot. I flip over the pot, and the size of a head, I just place it on top of a pot to keep its shape and make sure that this isn't happening, like this kind of thing. So you just kind of tuck that and you sit it on the pot so it sort of keeps a nice shape. And then, like I told you, for the inside, I have these sort of, I don't like how flat Kangos get sometimes when it's sitting on your head. It does come with a strip of foam, but right now I've washed it so many times. I don't even think any of these have the original foam. There's usually a thin little strip of foam, and it's just not that good, So basically, it's gone even. So you could take, I've taken I'll show you my little tube. I've taken, it's like plastic with the little pops, you know, the poppy pops. And I've made my own little thing here. Okay, I rolled up some of them pops and I put some of this gaffer's tape, cloth tape. So I stick this inside the brim. Here goes a green one, right? Obviously, I'm going to put down the phone for a second. I basically just put it inside. I stuff it in there and make sure it curves. And now I've got a nice little puff up. It's not very, this is actually an old one. This puff up's been through a lot. This puff up's been through, puff brim has been through like tons of washes, tons of dancing, tons of sweating. But it literally just looks better. I feel like it has like a stronger like shape right here. And again, it's kind of a flattened puff up, like puff ups, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Sometimes I'll just take like 4 or 5. This is like a paper towel and just roll them 4 to 5, like 3 to 4 pieces of paper towel. I'd say actually 2 to 3. 2 to 3, roll it into a tube, rip off the corner, rip off an inch, and then you have a nice tube to give you some shape. Because I really think the duckbill, that like flat Kangol, I'm going to take out the pop. I don't really like this weak looking front. It's very, it shouldn't be that way. Actually, the older Kangols had thicker foam. Nowadays, they have very thin foam or something. But that's how I do it, man. And, you know, you just dry it outside on a porch or somewhere if it's warm, but don't put it too close to the heater, radiator. Basically, that's how I treat my Kangols. That's how I keep them. So, you know, they can get finger dirt after a while. Like, I also paint murals and I do graffiti. So there's actually, this is very old. This is like 6 years old. So this came to me and it was way too pastel, like too light. So I took blue dye, RIT or whatever they call it at Walmart. I took dye and I dyed it with a deep dark blue, and it made my very like Easter green, like minty green. I wanted to see more aqua and a little more muted. So I've got a stain from some coffee or spray paint. I think it's spray paint, but it usually comes out. Most stains and most things come out, but spray paint obviously does not. And this one's getting old anyway. It's actually starting to get a little sort of rough at the tip there, which I don't really like when it pops up. But, you know, it's not too bad because baseball caps used to have that little hole. But it does start to lose form. Now, I got to say also, some of the Kangols are now the newer day Kangols. This Kangol Ventura, Tropical Ventura 506 or whatever. Kangol Ventura 506, Kangol Tropica 506 Ventura, whatever. Too many words, right? They are starting to be a little too big, like wide looking. So when I wear my Kangol, I take 2 hands, I'm holding the phone, and I put it on and I make sure this is nice. And then I sort of try to get it to not be like, beret, I'm a beret, fucking army, go Joe. And I try to just kind of keep it sort of like that. This one fits nice. After you wash it too many times and maybe there's too much hot water like I have, or if you ever try to put it in the dryer, don't do that. It's going to shrink. So if it feels tight or snug after it dries, say if it's outside, you just put it on and you just stretch it slightly and it starts to feel comfortable again. I have size large. I don't know what size head you have. Large works for me. Medium's too tight. Extra large, I have no idea. I have never purchased any others, just large. So large works for me. Some Kangols are some of the same style and brand are slightly tighter than others. And some of them are like puffier or like wider looking, and I'm not really feeling that. But then again, I'm not feeling the tightness. So there's just this place where I like them to be. I mean, I wish I was sponsored by Kangol. I've been wearing them for 30 years now, religiously. I don't go to any other brands, and I buy all very funky colors because I feel like the colors match the theme, the feeling of the seasons of my clothing, the outside. things start, like right now, this is my spring Kango and summer, and I feel very comfortable wearing this. I don't feel good wearing this in the winter. It's too bright. My tan is like a nice middle zone, autumn, fall, spring, summer. In the summer, the tan can seem a little depressing, a little drab. Definitely gray is not great. I mean, it just depends on your own personal preference. I've found gray is kind of a good neutral zone. It's like a light gray. Some people, a lot of Boston people, yeah, dude, or Southie guys will be like navy blue and black. I try to stay away from that. I feel like that's just too typical. So I go and I order online and I try to get the exact one. So that's it. That's my rundown of how I rock my Kangos and why I just feel so good about them. In the summer, these are breathable. It still absorbs sweat, but you know, it's not too hot. In the winter, it keeps you warm. I don't really, if I have anything thicker, I can't wear it in the summer. They're a little too expensive for me to just buy a million different Kangos. I used to wear the fuzzy ones, but not no more. This is all I wear all year round. And peace.